What's up, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of a series I like to call Get to Know, where we get to know every single god in Smite. So today we're going to learn about Agni, the Hindu god of fire, and in this series, what I'm going to talk about is 5 things. I'm going to talk about their skills, I'm going to talk about their itemization, how you're supposed to build them, their combos with the skill that they have, the role in their game, and how you're supposed to play them in team fights. So without further ado, let's go through these skills. So Agni's passive is called Combustion. After hitting with 4 basic attacks, Agni will gain a buff on his next 2, which is his Flame Wave, or Rain Fire, which is his ultimate. All enemies hit by those abilities will be additionally set ablaze, so they'll do damage over time if he has the passive up. His 1 is called Noxious Fumes. Now, he sets up a ring like this of Noxious Fumes, and it does a little bit of damage, but any other skill that I use on it, and if someone's in this radius, they'll get blown up by it. So, that's his 1. His 2 is pretty self-explanatory. It's called Flame Wave. He throws a small wave of flame. His Path of Flames, his 3, is an escape. It's a dash. It can be used as an escape, like I just said, or it can be an initiate, depending on the situation. And his ultimate, his 4, is called Rain Fire, which I will show you once I have it. Now let's talk combos. Agni's kit basically revolves around his 1. So his combos are usually start with a 1 first, usually. So this is a stun, his 1 and 2 combo, like boxing. You see I have my passive up. Now his 3 can, like I said, is an escape and an initiate. So to initiate, you would just go up to them like that. That's his 1-3 combo. Now the good thing about his 3, Path of Flames, is that it legit leaves a Path of Flames. So the flames linger. So look, you see how they linger? And then you activate your 1 after, and you still stun. So that's good to know. Now his ultimate, as you see, I have a halo on top of my head with 2 fireballs? Yeah. So, Agni's ultimate, he can store up to 3 meteors, and you see now I have 3 fireballs on my head, floating around there. He rains them down like this. I'll just show you his ultimate. That's his ultimate. But now you saw how long it took to come down. You can use your 1 on it. I'll show you. It can be used like that. Now let's talk about build for Agni. Agni is a magical carry, so you generally want to go Shoes of Magi, Focus Voidstone, Bancroft's Talon, Rod of Tahuti, Gem of Isolation, and Obsidian Shard. That's essentially what you want to get, because you're essentially a glass cannon. And if you don't know what that means, a glass cannon is exactly what it sounds, a cannon. And cannons do ridiculous amounts of damage, but since it's glass, it's really fragile and easy to break. Now the thing with this build is that it's not set in stone. So yeah, essentially you'd want to go Shoes of the Magi, Focus Voidstone, Bancroft's Talon, Rod of Tahuti, Obsidian Shard, and Gem of Isolation, but you're not always going to be able to do that, because MOBAs are so, you have to adapt, because every game it's different. One day you could be doing really good, and you can get all those items fine. But the next, maybe the enemy's AD carry is doing a lot of damage. So you have to sacrifice one of those items and put in a physical protection item. Or put in a little more magic protection if they have a lot of magic damage. You know, you have to adapt. So you can look at Smite Fire and MOBA Fire. You can look at builds that people do, but you shouldn't follow them exactly. You just have to adapt to your situation in the game. And that's basically it for his itemization. Now let's talk about his role. Agni is a mid player. He usually goes into the mid lane, and what you want to do in the mid lane, I'm not really a strong mid lane, so I'm not really the best one to give you advice on it, but I've played enough of the game to know what you have to do. So with this new map that Hi-Rez put out with Conquest, you have two harpies on each side of the mid lane. Those harpies are so important to the game right now. They change the game so much. There's such a huge factor in the game because it gives you a lot of gold and XP to the jungler and to the mid lane. So what you'd want to do is coordinate with your jungler if you have one and be like, hey, these camps are really important. Come get them whenever they spawn. Because whoever's in charge of those camps, whichever team's in charge of those camps, will win the game. Most likely. It's like really high chance of winning the game if you control those camps. And you, as a mid laner, if your enemy in the mid lane leaves the lane to go gank another one, you should definitely follow the mid lane, because they're trying to gank another lane that's in trouble or something, and if you follow, you can even the odds. And also start getting to the habit of warding, especially around those two harpy camps in the mid lane, because you'll know if the enemy is there, and if he's there, you can try to contest or stop them from getting those mid harpies, and you can get them. And if your jungler is there, you guys can counter gank or something, or try to get a kill. That's always good. Just get in the habit of that. So we've talked about his itemization, his combos, his skills, and his role in the game. Now we got to talk about how to play him in team fights. So I already used this metaphor, I think it's a metaphor, that he's a glass cannon, that Agni is a glass cannon. So glass cannon shouldn't be all up in the front of the team fight. You have to be in the back throwing down your bombs, just hurting them from afar, and making sure that your tanks in your team like peel for you. And peeling, what I mean is your tank's job is to protect the carries and take up a whole lot of damage for the carries. So your tanks have to make sure that you're not getting hurt. You as the carry cannot be getting hurt. Now it's the tank's job to protect you, but it's also your job to position yourself well enough in the team fight that you don't get hurt. So position yourself well, have the tanks peel for you, and just rain fire on every single one of the enemies. Obviously focus the carries first because the carries are the squishies, but there. That's all you have to do in a team fight. That's it for Agni. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe so you can get more get to know videos. I do one every day for every single god. And that's it. Thank you. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.